One thing you got left in reserves is $50 a month. Now all of a sudden you go and you say, you know what, I co-sign for you. This guy's house payment is $500 a month.
Well,
when you sign that co-payment, what you're saying to that bank is when Johnny can't pay his rent, you're going to pay it.
Amen, amen.
Young people, don't feel obligated that just because a person is your friend, some people try to latch onto your life,
Yes.
pull you into them, make you obligated to them, and then they'll use you. Just because they say they're your friend or whatever, don't you co-sign for somebody unless you are willing to pay that debt. Because I'm going to tell you right now, in a world like this, you're going to pay that debt.
Amen, amen, amen.
Because if that joker got to get you to co-sign, guess what? He ain't got the money to pay for it.
Have mercy, Jesus.
You're going to pay that debt. So wise word from Proverbs, don't co-sign for nobody.
Amen.
I put in there as a caveat, unless they're your husband and wife. But you still got to be sure about them, because there's some husband and wife don't know how to manage their money.
Have mercy.
Now, if y'all together, y'all got this stuff together, y'all managing, y'all kind of make an agreement, say, boom, okay, we're going to do this. That's good, amen? But there's a lot of people who are strapped with debt for somebody else's stuff.
Well, Jesus.
Proverbs 6 through 11. Let's look at that. It says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provided her meat in the summer, and gathered her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. In a nutshell, Solomon is saying laziness bring about poverty.
Well, have mercy.
In this life, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Have mercy, God.
So what am I saying? I'm saying that the things that you see people have, houses, cars, nice, things that they have in their home and so forth, they didn't attain those things. If it was legal, they didn't attain them by folding their hands and laying in the bed on Monday through Friday and not working.
Amen. Amen.
You have to take a lesson from the ant, they said. If you want to have a life where you're going to have things in it, you can't be lazy.
Amen. Amen.
So what does that mean? That means that right now at your age, you need to determine what it is that you want to do.
Amen.
You don't want to be in a spot where when you get up in the morning, you're hating to go to work.
Have mercy, Jesus.
You want to be in a spot where when you wake up in the morning, you're like, wow, I'm ready to make this happen.
Amen. Yes, yes.
A lot of us as adults, raise your hand, mothers and fathers, have not did that. Have we? A lot of us working jobs, we're like, man, it was a struggle for me to get out of bed this morning.
Have mercy,
Man,
Jesus.
I got to go to that job again.
Have mercy, God.
You don't tell the truth.
Amen. Amen.
Just about 90% of us. Why? Because we didn't really take the time to go to like an occupational handbook and read and look at what's in those handbooks and see the different jobs and then to pray to God. And then once we got in our job as a secretary, we were sitting there at the secretary desk and we look at TV and we're like, wow, I wish I was a radiologist. I wish I was a meteorologist. Man, I wish I was a doctor. I wish I was, I got a heart for kids. Why didn't I didn't go into being a teacher? I got a heart for, just helping people solve their problems. Why didn't I become a social worker? Now we got to go all the way back around after we done went to 4 years of basket weaving. We got to go all the way back around to try to do another degree.
Have mercy, God.
Why? Because we didn't ponder it. We was lazy with trying to figure out what we should do.
Have mercy, God.
But for all y'all parents that's up in here that's not in the right job, it's not too late.
Amen.
But you still need to work. Keep your household going. Amen?
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 through 19. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 through 19. These are wise words from Proverbs. Amen? Chapter 6, verse 16 through 19. Now this is what it says here. It says, these 6 things does the Lord hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brothers.
My God.
So number one, he said a proud look. We know what pride has done. One seed of pride has caused millions and millions of pounds or a life of sin. Satan fell because of pride.
Amen.
And every sin that man does, that angels does, the fallen ones do, every sin came from that one.
Yes.
That one
Yes.
seed created the harvest of death that we see.
My God.
World War I, World War II, Genghis Khan. When you look at Pol Pot, the killing fields, when you look at Saddam Hussein, all of the things that we go through, the weather patterns that are messed up, weeds growing in my grass, you know, ants coming into my house, all the things that we look at, the water never being warm like it need to be, too hot, too cold, you know, everything that we look at that caused sin came from that one seed.
Amen.
Of what? Of pride. That's why God hates it.
Amen.
Now, number two, a lying tongue. Now, the Bible tells us in Revelation chapter 21, verse 8, it says, all liars will have their place where? In the lake of fire. In the lake of fire.
Amen.
Lying tongue. And then it says, hands that shed innocent blood. We see Exodus chapter 20, verse 13, thou shalt not what? Thou shalt not kill. That's part of the first 10 commandments, right?
Amen.
A heart that devises wicked imaginations. I want to go to Mark. Let's go to Mark chapter 7. Mark chapter 7, verse 21. Mark chapter 7, verse 21. The fourth thing, it says, a heart that devises wicked imaginations. Now, when you go to Mark chapter 7, verse 21, it says here, it says, for from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adultery, fornication, murder, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness. Lasciviousness is to be without restraint.
Yes, yes.
That's what lasciviousness is. And evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile a man. And so when we look at all the things that are happening in the world, when you look at this list right here, all the things that happen in the world, hopefully not in the church, but in the world, comes out of the heart of men.
Yes.
That's what the Bible just told us. And so, why God hates that? He hates a heart that devises wicked imaginations.
Amen. Amen.
You know, people who imagine just wicked things,
Jesus.
just sitting there. Like in the days of Noah, it says the heart of man were wicked continually, and it grieved God. And God was grieved and repented that he created man.
Yes, yes.
Why? Because that generation, everything they thought about was wicked.
Have mercy, God.
That's why God hated that.
Have mercy, Jesus.
Then it says here, the fifth one is feet that be swift in running to mischief.
Yes.
And the last one, a false witness that speak lies, and he that sow discord among brothers.
Yes.
Brother.
Yes.
Have you ever been in high school and you had this one person that you have two people that don't like each other, but there's one person in between. Instead of them trying to mend the relationship, they kind of going back and forth with the other person. You know, they said this about you. You know, girl, if I were you, I'd slap her. Girl, you know, that this she just ain't right. You know, you know what she said about you? Girl, look at her. Oh, you know, you have people like that. That's what God said he hates.
Instigators.
He hates someone who sows discord between brothers.
Amen.
I experienced that. Now, I wasn't the person who sowed discord, but I did something that I shouldn't have did. When I was in the, I think it was about the 10th grade. We had, no, it was about I was on the 12th grade. It was 12th grade. And I was very, I was like the one of the captains of the football team. So I was very influential in my school. And these two guys were football players. And so we was in one of our homeroom classes, and they just kind of like stood up and they was fussing at each other, and I stood in between them. And the teacher, when she saw me stand between them, she was like, okay, you know, Charles got this, because they call me Charles. They said, Charles got this, okay. And so I looked at the guy and I was like, Ron, just sit down, man. You know, just don't worry about it. Joe, you know, you sit down, you guys, don't do this in this class right now, because they was about to go at it. And then Ron reached past me and hit Joe in the chest. You know, he was like, you know, he said, all right, man, you know, hit him like that, right? And then when he did that, I looked at him, I was like, oh, okay, and I backed out. And when I backed out between them, man, they tore that classroom up. And I had to be one of the ones, me and my cousin had to be one of the ones to pull them apart. And so after we got everything together, I sat down in my seat, and I thought that the teacher was going to be looking at them like, you know, but the teacher was looking at me. Because I looked up at her, and she was looking at me like, you disgust me. You know what I'm saying? It dawned on me, wow, I could have diffused that situation. I caused that, you know? And at that time, from that time on, I realized if I ever had opportunity to diffuse something, to diffuse it. Because the blame left them, and it went to me. And I thought about that. She right. So let's go to Proverbs chapter 7. Proverbs chapter 7, amen. Verse 25. We got a few more to go, and we'll let this go, amen? Proverbs chapter 7, verse 25 through 27. And this is what it says here. It says, hearken to me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths, for she has cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way of hell, going down to the chambers of death. Now, number one, when you look at chapter 7, Proverbs deal with this wayward young man who goes into the house of a harlot who is married.
Have mercy.
And so, in a nutshell, we want to let you know, young people, do not listen to loose and promiscuous women who are very promiscuous. And men, women, vice versa for men. Particularly married ones. Do not give your heart to them unless you desire death. In other words, leave other men's wives alone.
Amen. Amen.
No matter how enticing they may be.
Amen.
You know, probably about 2 or 3 years ago, there was this lady at the VA who was having some problems with her husband.
Jesus.
And this woman knew that I was married, and she was married. But she was very, very overly flirtatious. You know, I mean, let's be real. Attractive people, sometimes when you say somebody attractive and people think you're attractive, sometimes people always throw a little hint. People gonna be kind of flirtatious. You kind of like, oh yeah, I understand that. You know, I'm kind of flattered that, you know, you like the beard and all that. I understand all that. But that's about it. You know, you go about your business. This woman was like very flirtatious. To the point where I was like, well, hold on. You're married, right? Because I know I'm married. I mean, what? I was like, what's his name? Rodney Dangerfield? Like, what's going on here? You know? Like Rodney. You know, and you're going to have people that's going to come along in your life who simply don't care. Even the fact that they know that you're taken. But you have to say to yourself, I'm not going down that road.
Amen.
The worst thing that you can do is mess with somebody else's wife.
Amen. Or husband.
Or husband. A man can be the biggest coward in the world.
Amen.
But something about messing with his wife, muster up whatever non-cowardness he got. And that joker will go buy a gun and kill you.
Mercy, Jesus.
And he'd be in jail with the rest of those guys saying, why am I here? Because there was a jealousy that rose up to the point where you kill you.
Have mercy, Jesus.
And then there's some people, you know, you look at their husband, you're like, I know I ain't messing with you, girl. You better get out of here. They just went there and kill me, you, all the family. Everybody be dead.
Mercy, Jesus.
What Solomon is saying is that you have to be smart. Don't go into a house of someone that's already taken.
Amen.
There's plenty of fish in the sea.
Amen.
Pray for the one that God wants you to have.
Amen.
And he'll let you catch the right one. Amen?
Amen.
Now, let's also look at Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. Wise words from Proverbs. Now, in chapter 8, verse 13, it says, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogance, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Number one of the reasons people do evil things is because they do not fear or reverence God.
Amen.
Young people, the first thing that you need to do is you need to fear and reverence God.
Amen.
People do evil things because they don't fear and reverence God.
Amen.
Number two, when a person reverence, fear, or respect God, this becomes a conscious restraint to not do evil. Most of us in here are consciously restrained from doing evil because we fear God. We reverence God. When I say fear God, I'm not talking about trembling, but respect God. Respect to know that one day I'm going to stand before God.
Amen.
Amen? Number three, without the fear of the Lord, men are void of a sense of accountability. If you don't have a fear of the Lord, you are void of a sense of accountability.
Amen.
Every person on the planet is accountable.
Amen.
Every person. Every angel, every demon, every person, and even animals are accountable.
Amen.
And when I say animals accountable, the ones who kill people. God said that he will hold everybody accountable that kill a person,
My God.
that murder someone. Amen? We ain't talking about self-defense. We're not talking about war. We're talking about somebody that's just out there just premeditating, going, you know what, I'm going to kill you.
Jesus, have mercy.
Or a bear that shows up and say, you know what, you look good, let me just eat you. God said, I'll hold that bear accountable.
Jesus.
Now, where there is no sense of accountability, there is no moral restraint, and men are consciously free to indulge in all kinds of evil.
Jesus.
The reason why you have all of the killing that we see in Chicago, all of the killing that we see in various places, is because men have no moral restraints, which stem from not fearing God.
Amen.
So fearing God is very important.
Amen.
Now, how do we know when a person don't fear God? When a person comes into the, now it could be that a person is ignorant, but when a person comes into the church and he around here, you know, he cussing and talking and discord and causing division within the church, or when somebody out there just doing anything they want to do, how they want to do it, and they're not cautious of what they're doing in terms of moral depravity and so forth. That means that they're either, number one, ignorant. Ignorant means just don't know that God exists, they're atheists. Or they simply just in a state of rebellion and I don't fear God. There was somebody said, I was listening to somebody and they were like, I don't fear God or the devil.
My God.
I was like, you're a fool walking.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Because God really, all he got to do is lift off his grace from you and let the devil get a hold to you.
Amen.
By the time the devil get through with you, you'll be like, Lord, I need you.
Amen.
But don't let God come after you.
Yes.
You're really in trouble.
Yes, Jesus. Have mercy, God.
Somebody said, well, you know, what choice do I want? You know, do I want God to be against me or the devil against me? If God against you, I mean, really? God is actuality itself.
Amen.
That which exists is God. God is existence.
Yes.
So if he's against you, you don't exist.
Yes.
So now, you know, just there's a record of David having a choice. And he said, you know, God said you can send bands of raiders to come and take you out for what you did, David. Or I can send some diseases to come take you out, David. Or David, I can come and take care of the problem. You remember in Numbers when David counted the men, and God told him not to do that. He did it anyway. And God said, I got to punish you now. They